Onion is one of the most common vegetable crops in home gardens, and growing from seeds allows for the production of high quality and healthy bulbs. This method of growing requires careful soil preparation, timely sowing, and adequate plant care. In this video, we will describe in detail all the stages of growing onion from seed, including the optimal time for sowing, the process of preparing seedlings, and transplanting them outdoors. Growing onions from seeds have several advantages over growing from bulbs. First, seeds are significantly cheaper than bulbs, which reduces production costs. Second, plants grown from seeds have a better potential for adapting to local conditions. And finally, growing from seeds makes it possible to obtain a variety that are more resistant to diseases and pests. As always, we strive to bring quality advice and recommendations on time, so today we remind you of the dates for growing onions from seed. For all other useful tips, stay tuned to our channel, follow our recommendation for sowing and planting, and share your experience with growing. And if you haven't done it already, subscribe to our channel. Give us your support with leaving us a like and writing in the comments with your experience with growing onions and anything you want to ask. We are here for you. Onions can be grown from seed and from bulbs. Bulbs which are used for growing onions are actually grown from seeds a year earlier. This form of onion growing is the most common, and the availability of bulbs packed in nets makes growing easier. The offer in garden centers is large, but unfortunately it all comes down to yellow, purple, and silver onions. Flat and round yellow onions are listed as a better offer. Have you ever wondered what kind of onion it actually is? On the labels, it usually says only bulk onion, and it is the variety that dedicates the method of growing, consuming, and storing. During the season, many of you contacted me with the problem of how you can't get beautiful, regular, and large onion heads, even though you bought temptingly beautiful bulbs, or how you did everything according to the rule to make the onion last at least until winter, and it started to rot by the end of September. These are precisely the things decided by the variety and method of cultivation. Surely you can prevent such phenomena by growing onions from seeds or your own onions for the next season. By choosing seeds of a certain variety, you will know exactly how to proceed during cultivation. The procedure requires a little more time, but this way you will be sure of what you are actually growing. When onion flowers appear in your garden, let them bloom completely and dry them well. Then pick them and save the seeds for growing onions. The seeds are black and quite small. Store them in some cloth or paper in a dry and dark place until use. Onions grow best in fertile, well-draining and loose soil with a natural reaction with a pH from 6 to 7. Soil preparation begins in the fall with a deep plowing or digging to up to 25 to 30 centimeters. For this purpose, manure can be added, but in moderate amounts to avoid excessive green mass formation at the expense of head development. In the spring before sowing, the soil is broken up by milling or raking. It is recommended to add fertilizer rich in potassium and phosphorus to encourage the formation of healthy heads. Our most common recommendation for top dressing is wood ash, which also has a significant impact on the protection against pests and diseases. The optimal time for sowing onions from seeds depends on climatic conditions, but it is usually carried out at the end of winter or at the beginning of spring, in the period from February to March. Sowing can be done indoors for the production of seedlings or directly outdoors for direct cultivation. Since the seeds germinate slowly, it is advisable to soak them in lukewarm water or chamomile tea for 24 hours before sowing to stimulate germination. To grow onions from seedlings, seeds are sown in pots, crates, or shallow containers. The procedure goes as follows. Fill the pots with the soil for sowing. This soil should be light, rich in nutrients, and well drained. Seeds are sown to a depth of 1 centimeter with a row spacing of 5 to 7 centimeters. After sowing, the soil is lightly watered and covered with a transparent film to retain moisture. The containers are then placed in a bright place with a temperature between 18 and 22 degrees Celsius. Germination usually takes 7 to 14 days, depending on the temperature and quality of the seed. When the plants reach a height of 10 to 15 centimeters and develop 3 to 4 true leaves, they are ready to be transplanted outdoors. In areas with a milder climate, onion seeds can be sown directly outdoors from late March to early April. It is important to ensure well-prepared and warmed soil. The seeds are sown in shallow rows 2 centimeters deep with a row spacing of 25 to 30 centimeters. When growing from seeds by direct sowing, it is very important that the soil is loose and airy so that the seeds germinate and sprout as easily as possible. It is also important to maintain moisture and not allow the soil to dry out completely at any time, as this will interrupt the germination process and the plant may die. When planting seeds, make the rows, water them slightly, add the seeds on top, then add the soil and water the soil again. And if you made the seedlings inside, transplanting them outdoors is done in spring when the danger of frost has passed, usually during April. Plants are planted in rows with a distance of 20 to 30 centimeters between rows and 8 to 10 centimeters between plants in a row. When transplanting, the roots of the plants should be carefully placed in the soil, taking care not to damage them. It is best to transplant them in the afternoon or during cloudy weather so that the plants can adapt to the new conditions more easily. After planting, abundant watering is recommended for better taking root in the soil. Onion care includes several key steps to ensure a good harvest. Onions require regular watering, especially during dry periods. It is important to maintain moderate soil moisture, avoiding overwatering, which can lead to root rot. To prevent weed competition and improve soil aeration, it is necessary to regularly weed and hoe the soil between the rows. And to retain the moisture in the soil and stop the weeds from growing, you should use mulch on the beds with your onions. You can add a lot of natural mulching material like straw or hay. Now we have fertilization. The first fertilizing with the nitrogen fertilizers is carried out 2 to 3 weeks after transplanting, while later fertilizers with a higher phosphorus and potassium content are used. These nutrients help for better development and larger bulbs. The most common diseases of onions are downy mildew and root rot, while the most common onion pests are flies and thrips. Preventative measures include proper crop rotation, the use of healthy seeds, and regular monitoring of the condition of the plant. In the upcoming period, we will have separate video topics about disease and insects that attack onions, so stay with us and don't miss any useful tips. Onions are usually ready for harvest when most of the leaf mass has fallen and started to turn yellow, which usually happens 100 to 120 days after sowing. Harvesting is done manually or with the help of special tools, and the bulbs are left to dry in the field on airy areas. After drying, the onions are cleaned of excess leaves and roots and stored in a dry and dark place with good ventilation. The optimal storage temperature is between 0 and 4 degrees Celsius with a relative humidity of 65 to 70%. As I already said, in the upcoming period, we will make videos about ecological nutrition and pest rejection. And this is why you should stay with us and look forward to these videos because they ensure that you have healthy crops. Growing onions from seeds require careful planning and care, but by following our tips, you can get a rich and high-quality harvest. Proper timing of sowing, transplanting, and adequate care during growth are key factors for successful cultivation. Onions grown from seed will not only enrich your kitchen, but will also make your garden healthier and more productive.